Have you ever thought about making your own beef rub? How about making your own black seasoning rub? If you're really into barbecue, you'll know that one of the most trending rubs are the black beef rubs. Why, you may ask, and what's their purpose? Black beef rubs are popular in barbecue because they create a visually appealing black crust on meat, enhancing its appearance. Whether you are trying to grill a nice crust on a ribeye steak or trying to build an epic bark on a big cut of beef, we'll show you how to make a black rub to get you there, right here on Lunacy Qing. Welcome back, my good people. This is part one of a 4-part series where we will experiment with making our own black beef seasoning rub. This kind of rub can be used for beef cuts like beef back ribs, dino ribs, tri-tips, picanhas, brisket, beef clod, or thick cuts of steak like ribeye, sirloin, T-bone, New York strip, or chuck roast. This kind of rub will help you get that dark colored bark or crust, whether it be smoking a large piece of beef low and slow or grilling hot and fast for a nice sear crusty steak. So let's get started on the ingredients we will need to make our rub. So let me give you the amounts of each ingredient, then I will elaborate on the main ingredient that gives it its color.
Half an ounce of onion powder, half an ounce of garlic powder. Then there we have an ounce and a half of lava salt, ounce and a half of black pepper. Of course, the black pepper is more coarse than the fine salt. This is fine grain, so you'll see that it looks bulkier. Let's put it in our jar.
So the lava salt we are using today is coated with activated charcoal, so that's what gives it its black color. But don't worry, you can't really taste it at all. In fact, if you've had Hardcore Carnivore's black rub, all its ingredients is coated with activated charcoal. So if you've tried that, you'll know that it's a very savory rub and you can't taste the charcoal at all. So as I put the ingredients in the mason jar, I should mention that the first rub we are mixing is for those that like a pepper heavy rub. The coarse grains of black pepper we are using will be more up front, and the finer grains of black salt will have a mild taste in this first ratio mix that we will mix together. After you have given it a good mix, go ahead and give it a taste to see if this is your preference of pepper to salt taste. I'll freeze the frame right quick so that you can see the grains of black salt in between the other ingredients of grains so you can get an idea of the salt levels. I gave my mix a taste and I felt that the salt level was too mild, so I measured out another ounce of black salt to add to our mix. So if you are going to give this a try yourself, don't worry about remembering the exact amounts I am mentioning, because I will list both recipes for you in the video description below. Now, compared to the first mix, this one has a darker color because we added more black salt. I gave this one a quick taste and I would describe it as an average salt taste preference. That still might be too mild for some of you because I don't like too much salt in my rubs, so you can increase the black salt in ½ an ounce increments to get it to the salt levels you want. Now keep in mind that if you plan to make this rub, the ratios might slightly differ if you use a different brand of ingredients. That's because the grain size of each ingredient may differ depending on the brand. I'll have the Amazon link for the brands I used below. To be a little more accurate, I did use the weight amounts of each ingredients in the recipe below, but just remember that a rub using a coarse grain of pepper will have a more upfront pungent taste than one using a finer grain. So once we have the rub to our taste preference, let the rub sit for a little bit so that all the ingredients mingle well. You will see that it might get slightly darker because the charcoal from the salt will rub off on the other ingredients. So now that we have our rub ready, we will end the video with the meat prep. What we have here is a choice grade of boneless chuck roast that we will be smoking. We applied our olive oil spray and now it's time to apply our rub. You can apply the rub by hand like I'll do here, or you can apply it by using a seasoning shaker. Just make sure to use a coarse lid in the shaker because the pepper I am using here is a bit coarse. I have a link for a shaker that comes with multiple lids below. As we finish the meat prep, you can see that our chuck roast has a nice dark color to it. In the second video of the series, we'll fire up the Old Country G3 smoker. Then we'll lay down some good smoke on the roast and watch the rub go to work on on that bark. In the end, you will see a beautiful smoke ring with a super epic dark bark, with the roast pulling apart tender like nobody's business. Till then, take care and we'll see you next week.